I want to change the world 風を駆け抜けて何も恐れずに今勇気と笑顔をかけらないで Change my mind 情熱絶やさずに高鳴る未来へ手を伸ばせば輝けるはずさ
Hey guys, this is Shades here. We're here at Metrocon 2016 in Tampa, Florida, and I'm sitting next here with the wild and crazy Mr. Richard Ian Cox. How are we doing today, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Now, starting us off here, we're going to ask the big one. Gundam or Zoids?
That's a hard question to answer, to be honest with you. They're all awesome. I love mecha stuff. I'm nervous that if I say one over the other, my handler over there is gonna like leap across the table, beat me half to death with her phone. So for her, I'll say Zoids. No, I love. My favorite thing about mecha, as I've always said, is that that in these shows, these people are spending what has to be trillions of dollars on R&D and build and everything else, and instead of putting them into like a super weapon that's like, you know, like some sort of a gun or a drone, kind of whatever, they're like, no, that's stupid. We're gonna build a big robot, and we're gonna fight sort of anamorphically in space with them. Because why wouldn't you? That's like the best thing ever. We should even give them like a plasma sword or something. So I love all this. They're like, super gun? No, that's stupid. I'm gonna build a robotic Liger, and it's gonna like run on all four. It's not even gonna have wheels. It's just gonna. That to me is unbelievably awesome. Like it's gone crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you've also, done we mentioned that because you've done voices for both those series, but you've also mostly known as the voice of Inuyasha, the big man himself.
Yeah.
Did you ever expect to have like any kind of a legacy when you started out as that half demon?
Honestly, I know everyone says, "Oh, we never knew it would be so popular," but I saw him in sketches before we started it. Well, we were still doing Ranma. Right at the very tail end of it, because the American producer for it, had this other thing coming on. He's like, you got to see this super cool character I get to do next. And I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. And then I got to audition for him, and luckily I got to do it. And but seeing what it was and knowing how popular it was in Japan and everything else, I kind of had a feeling that it was gonna kind of kick ass, right? And it turned out to totally kick ass, which is awesome. Yeah.
A lot of people got behind that one, didn't
Yeah.
you? So, but we got that, and then of course you've also done some work for the ever popular My Little Pony franchise.
Yes, yeah.
I have to ask, which has had the more active fan base for you, the Inuyasha fans or the My Little Pony fans?
It's pretty even, to be honest with you. Like I saw sort of an uptick in Twitter sort of followers and everything with My Little Pony coming on board. But lots of people still reference, tons of people still reference all the Inuyasha stuff on my, various social media platforms.
Right.
So it's pretty even, right? And they're both, and there's a lot of sort of crossover between, the two sort of fandoms and whatnot. Between all fandoms, but I'd say it's pretty even. Yeah.
You ever seen an Inuyasha pony?
No, actually, I saw an Inuyasha duck yesterday, but not an Inuyasha pony. That would actually be pretty rad.
Any of your fans see this, that's going to happen now.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Oh, that'd be
But whose voice would it have?
That's a great.
I think it should be Inuyasha with Snail's voice.
Oh God.
That'd be awesome. So great.
Oh, that'd be good. Now, one thing I always ask, because I always love hearing about these, is like, when you're in that booth, even if it's just by yourself, things tend to happen. Are there any funny behind-the-scenes stories you can share?
No.
Oh.
I'm sure there are, but I don't have like any like sort of crazy fall out of my chair insane stories. I know some people do, and they're hilarious. My main thing I would suggest is that as I said with the last interview, I make fart noises a lot in session, and because a lot of people do reacts, or like what we call reacts, or like the punch hits or
Right.
like the noises for getting hit or whatever. And it's really funny if you add a fart to the end of it. Or if, as someone's trying to do a reaction, you fart over it as they're, lifting something. Like, it's hilarious. So if you just sort of know when that's off the mic, you can get really good at just adding fart noises to stuff, which is sort of my modus operandi.
Gotta lose them for the next guy.
Just start noises. I'm not actually farting. Like, I'm not eating cans of beans in session just to...
No, there's others that do that.
Right.
All right, last thing for you is I always like to ask, is there anything else, I know you got your NDAs, I know you can't give us everything.
Right.
But is there anything else that you can share with us as we head towards the future?
No. Well, I mean, like I'm still excited about new releases of Dino Trucks that are coming out on Netflix, which is like, an amazing show, an amazing animation, and we love that one. But no, I'm doing stuff, but no, I can't. Like, it's all
Those NDAs.
It's crazy, actually. Like, I sign way more NDAs for animation than I do for on-camera stuff, for sure, which is bananas. Although I'll tell you about something that we do have coming soon. Is a film that we actually made ourselves. It's called Last Night in Suburbia, and I wrote, directed it, and produced along with Sam Vincent, who's also a major big voice actor on My Little Pony and all kinds of shows. Dr. Dimension Pants that we did together. He's the executive producer of it. Andrew Francis is involved and is producer on it. Ian Corlett is a producer on it. Claire Corlett, who's also in My Little Pony, is in it. And Aiden Drummond, who's another voice actor, who is Brian Drummond's son, is in it. So we've got a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome, good stuff. And Ashley Ball, who is in My Little Pony, obviously, huge in My Little Pony, has a band called Hey Ocean, and one of their songs is at the beginning of Ocean.
Nice.
So there's a lot of cool voice people in Vancouver involved in our film, so keep an ear out for it. It's our Last Night in Suburbia.
We'll definitely look out for that. Well, Richard, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And you guys stay tuned for more exclusive interviews here on RBT Entertainment. I'm The Shades, and we'll see you guys next time. Rock on!